Hi, today I'm going to go over three sections that will be covered on exam 1 for Miss Castle's Calculus 1 class. First topic is going to be about finding the roots or the zeros for a polynomial function. So, for example, something like this. We're going to find the zeros of this function here. F of x equals 3x to the fourth minus 6x cubed plus x squared. So we're going to start this by pulling out x squared. And you'll get something like this. X squared times the quantity of 3x squared minus 6x plus 1. From there, you need to apply the quadratic formula to the 3x squared minus 6x plus 1 part. So quadratic formula is x equals opposite b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And I will plug in the values for that and show you in just one moment. Okay, and you will get this. Above is what the quadratic formula is, and below it is the plugged in values from the quadratic 3x squared minus 6x plus 1. Okay, and when you solve that through, that will give you, erase this. Okay, x plus minus square root of 36. Okay. When you solve that through to solve for x, just 1 second. Okay. You'll get the following here. There's on the top part, you we'll solve for the inside of the square root, and you'll get 36 minus 12, which is 24 right below, square root of 24. And then you simplify the radical by breaking the 24 into 4 times 6, and take the square root of 4, that's 2, which is why you put that 2 out in front of that square root of 6 there. So 6 plus or minus 2 square roots is 6, all over 6. And then you just do a little simplification. They have a common factor of 2. So 3 plus or minus square root of 6 over 3. And that is 2 of the zeros for this function. There's also one more, and from earlier when we pulled out that x squared, all you do for that is x squared equals 0, so therefore x is 0 as well. So for this particular function, there are a total of 3 zeros. Usually if it's a polynomial to the 4th power, there would be 4 answers, but since one of the answers would be plus or minus 0, it's just 0. So you have the answers right here. X equals 3 plus or minus the square root of 6 over 3 and 0. So that is how you would go about solving a polynomial equation to find the roots or the zeros for that particular function. Now, we're also going to discuss limits. This particular limit here, limit as this limit here, limit as x approaches infinity of -2 x to the -1/2 power. We're gonna rewrite that as limit of x approaching infinity 1 over -2 and the square root of x, because 1 to the 1/2 power is like square root. Okay, so for limits, basically you would just plug in whatever the x is going to. So if you plug in infinity for the x there, that means the denominator is going to increase without bound. So therefore you have a situation 1 over infinity, and anytime the denominator is way larger than the numerator, you're going to be approaching 0. So the answer for this limit would be 0 here. 1 over infinity equals 0. Okay. And then there's one last section that'll be on this test, conic sections. And this example here, you have to complete the square in order to determine which conic section it is. So let me just write this down. Okay. Here's the conic section here. 2x squared plus 4x plus y squared minus 6y minus 3 equals 0. So you're going to want the x's and the y's to be together, and you want to add 3 to both sides to get the 3 onto the right side of the equation. So you got 2x squared plus 4x. Make sure after this part here you leave a space so you can complete the square. Leave a space. Plus y squared minus 6y, leave another space, equals 3. So you're going to end up like that. And then that 2x squared plus 4x, you're going to want to factor out that 2. before you complete the square. So it'll be 2x squared plus 2x, leave a space, plus y squared minus 6y, leave a space, equals 3. Okay, so to complete the square, you take the b term, which for the x's case would be 2, you divide that by 2 and you square it. That'll give you 1. So you add 1. But since you factored out that 2, it's like you're actually adding 2. So since you added on this side, you have to also add it onto the right side. So you add plus 2 on the right side of the equation. And then for the b value for the y part of the function of the conic section would be 6 divided by 2 squared, which is 9. And then also add that as well. So you're gonna get something like this. As you see it below each of the b functions, I showed how to get the value to add each side to complete the square. So, and on the right side there is 3 plus 2 plus 9. Okay, so now you can simplify that. Plus 1 squared. Okay, and then you get something like this here. And the value in that factor, there, is just what whatever the b term was divided by 2, and then you just write it out as a factor. So you got the 2x plus 1 quantity squared plus the y minus 3 quantity squared equals 14. And then you're going to divide that 14 all the way through. Okay, divide that 14 all the way through. X plus 1 quantity squared all over 7 plus y minus 3 quantity squared all over 14 equals 1. And since it's a plus, it's something over a number plus the y quantity over a number, that would be an ellipse right there. So let me show you what you would get there. So if you divide that 14 through, that's x plus 1 quantity squared over 7 plus the quantity y minus 3 squared over 14 equals 1, and that's an ellipse. And that is the sum of what will be on the test, the sections that we went through. Thank you.